Oh, guys, you can finally talk about the box office because the box office mojo has updated its sales. So yeah, we're gonna be first going over the box office mojo sales because they always have the international sales updated. So we're going over the top 8 movies, which is Godzilla vs Kong, to Conjuring. So Godzilla vs Kong, of course, might pass 100 million in the U.S., but it's so close to it. I think it might end up. But again, blockbusters are finally coming out, so Godzilla vs Kong isn't like the only movie out. So movies won't really be having legs anymore. Like for example, A Quiet Place is not really having amazing legs, like several other movies did. So movies are not really having legs anymore, which will be something that we're gonna be talking about. Next is Spiral, which again is a box. It did pass 30 million worldwide. Was I predicted it will end that? It does have like one or two international markets left, but I think overall this might actually not be a box office failure like I said it would be. It still isn't doing too well, but it isn't doing the worst at all. Next is Wrath of Man. Again, this movie it has a $60 million budget. It is coming out in a couple more markets, but this might be another box office failure, another box office flop. Wrath of Man, 24 million domestic, and 30 million international. But it is coming out in a couple more markets in the next month. So, yeah, Wrath of Man. We'll see. We'll take up in like a month or so. Next is Wire. Surprisingly, this is still in the top five. Surprised this movie's having such amazing wigs, but it's at 53 million in domestically. Next is Spirit Untamed, which they have the international. They don't have the international. The box office suppose doesn't have any sales for this movie, which is odd. So they do have the sales for that, but it's not really complete either. So Cruella has passed 87 million. This is including 1 week, 1 day in China, with the movie only gross like 3 million in its first day in China, so the movie isn't really doing too well in China. But could Cruella actually make back its money? Well, I think at the end it probably will because this movie because Disney will find a way to make sure this movie is a success. Will make a success out of a failure. Cruella will probably reach that list of movies that never reached number one, but still did well at the box office. This, but this movie is performing better legs wise than A Quiet Place. So going down 50% nearly 47%. So Quiet Place Part 2, 138 million worldwide. This movie has been a success. The thing is, horror movies don't do well internationally. It did actually retake number one on Sunday, beating The Conjuring, which means Conjuring probably won't have amazing legs, which they don't have they don't have the sales for this movie yet at all. So now we have the number of sales. So we'll go over the comparisons here. We could do comparisons for. Go over Spirit Untamed, which doesn't really have its international box office update. It's only at 7 million. That 1.14 million is not really updated sales, so we don't have the updated that at all. And box office mojo is being completely strange. Cruella actually has its box office update. It's actually because of the Disney fanboys. It's actually having decent legs. Disney somehow finds a way to make the movies not a flop. This is what I predicted. It's gonna be the Disney. This movie's gonna somehow pull Maleficent, and this is gonna have extremely good legs as well. If we can compare it to other movies, it is actually out. It is doing worse than Alita now on box office here day by day. So it probably will not reach the 100 million like I said it might do. Dude, that's like the one scenario that might have happened. But we can compare it to Maleficent. It's doing worse than that, but it's doing worse than the movies like Alita and Men in Black and stuff. Birds of Prey, which was a holiday weekend. But yeah, it's doing worse than all of its comparisons. Cruella is still doing worse than all of its comparisons. And it's where you can put in Doolittle here. Here. And yeah, Doolittle is doing better than Cruella on second week. And it actually has repassed Cruella. So yeah, it'll probably do similar to Doolittle at the box office, $80 million, and if it does okay internationally, it will probably make back the 200. If it makes 240 to $250 million, then yes, I think that's why Disney's already making a sequel, because Disney probably already sees, oh yeah, this movie's gonna make back us money anyways, even though people just don't really care for it. But again, Disney somehow finds a way to make the movies not a flop. Next is Conjuring. We'll go over Quiet Place later. Excuse me, but Conjuring 57 million might be the second box office success of the year already. Conjuring has a $49 million budget. This movie needs to make like $80 to $90 million domestically, no, worldwide, which will probably will, considering it's already doing really well worldwide, 43 million, basically. So Conjuring, again, I don't really know any movies besides Curse of War Warner to compare it to, but Curse of War Warner didn't really do too well at the box. I think it will outperform Curse of War Warner because there aren't really any horror movies coming out. The only real movies that are coming out is movies that are competitive. The only real competitive coming out that could damage its box office is Purge, which is coming out a month later. And of course, you have A Quiet Place Part 2, which is performing around average. So Quiet Place is performing around average for a movie that grosses 47 million. So it'll probably end up around 130 to 140 million worldwide, domestically. Which is still pretty amazing no matter what you try to spin the numbers to. It isn't outperforming the first movie, but you gotta realize that the first movie didn't really have a competition since coming out. Any real competition as well. It even did well against Endgame, which was a shock by many people. But yeah, compared to War Alone, which completely didn't do any well near Endgame's numbers, basically. So yeah, this movie, Quiet Place, will probably do slightly better ratings going on. Considering if it's considered a better movie than Conjuring, it will probably have better ratings going on from it. We're gonna really see how well it does on its third week. Its third week, it's gonna guarantee to pass $100 million, which means it will be the first movie since the pandemic to pass $100 million. That is just a huge milestone of its own already. So yeah, Conjuring probably won't pass 100 million. Peter Rabbit could be the second movie if Godzilla does not reach $100 million at the box office, domestic box office. Because when we talk about the domestic box office, yes, the movie did well worldwide, did well in China, did well in all these Asian markets. Godzilla is already popular. But yeah, there you go about the box office. There isn't really anything else to talk about unless you want to do a comparison between Wire and Spirit. But I don't think that's really a good comparison because Wire released was one of the first movies to release in theaters, and Spirit already is going to be facing off against Peter Rabbit its second weekend. So that's basically it. Goodbye.